right. So now you here in Canada, and how did you perceive Canada? How did you perceive? Did you try to do anything artistically, like to get into a band, for instance, or you were looking for? Well, I know what happened to you on that period of time because a few years, people we've been colleagues and working together at the music store, repairing music instruments, being what they call luthier or luthier.
Yeah.
So
guitar tech people, guitar tech.
Yeah, guitar tech or whatever you want to call it. But my
Luther
question
sounds
is,
better.
yeah, my question is, okay, till you get there, what was happening, and even after you get there, what was your perception of Canadian music store or Canadian music scene, or how did or did not meet your expectation as a newcomer, full of dreams, not knowing, being here for the first time. For me personally, I know because I went through that, been there, done that. But it's that was like 20 years before you.
Yeah.
The situation was different. Each one has his own story. But here the point is to get everybody's story and point of view and experience, so people they have a different perspectives on us being diaspora, not being Romanians anymore, but belonging to because we've been born there and we have certain, roots and a common background and stuff like that. Now we're Canadians, but we're not really Canadians because you weren't born here, and we'll be immigrants for the rest of our lives. Eventually, our kids, they're going to be Canadians because they've been born and raised here. So they have, that kind of if you get in my draft, like what I'm trying to get out of you right now.
So I think, because you already asked me this question, I went on a different tangent. So coming back to your initial question, like 20 minutes ago or whatever it was, it's not like coming here, I gave up on music. Like that was not my intent. But yes, I wanted to build a life. So I thought I was going to do any kind of job and then explore that on the side. The reason is simple. Unlike you, my friend, I was so fed up with like the politics of a band, even though I had a good relationship with the people I was in, and the politics outside of a band, how to promote, how to get yourself noticed and this and that, that it was not my main interest. Plus, I did not, unlike you, I did not seek the experience of playing live. So I went from like stage fright to being like completely loose and comfortable on scene. And for me, that was good enough. So I went from a guy that like, someone goes back and watches some of the videos, like O.N.E, La Orbire, like I'm dressed like a postmodern clown in La Orbire with glasses and like a weird hat and a bathrobe, and I'm punching the shit out of our singer. That's me. And in O.N.E, I was playing my guitar part with my hair on my face. I was never on Facebook, never wanted to be known. I had this like, I'm weird. What can I say? So the thing is that I never sought the spotlight. I never sought the live experience. For me, it was a price to pay in order to be able to create music. I was way more interested in creating music, arranging, recording. So when I came here, I literally wanted to attend. I thought I was going to work some kind of job, but I will attend the Recording Arts Canada, Treba Institute, like one of the local, very reputable places that gave you a college degree for sound engineering. This was my dream. Now, not because I wanted to go and do live sound for crappy bands or amazing bands and like not see my wife like every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was just because I wanted to learn about sound engineering as such. And then I met a wonderful, again, Romanian, who worked as the maintenance tech for the McGill studios, the McGill University Music Studios. And if anybody knows a thing or two about that, the people that are recorded there, like we're talking like perfect pitch, classical musicians. It's a very people that know music, and by definition, people that have it's a traditional way of doing things. Like think of it, and I mean this as a compliment, like before the Beatles started to push sound engineers to be something that they didn't know that they could be. right? It's very, again, think classical music, right? It's a different beast. It's not like rock and roll, right? You're not pushing to get the preamp, overdrive, or like it has to be clean. You have to hear all the harmonics, the mics. It's a specific mic on that instrument, that distance. It's very like regimented, right? So I happen to just look up online, like any good little Romania. I'm looking up online to see like studios and this and that, because I'm thinking ahead. What am I going to do after? Okay, I'm going to pay $12,000, $15,000, whatever it was back then. Get a college degree. But where am I going after? Because my focus is music production, right? Nobody's going to hire me as a producer. I'm Joe Blow. Nobody knows me. Like, what? So I have to build up some... Where could I work? Who can I bring coffee to? In what Montreal studio could I work? So I'm looking at places, and I found like, oh, that's amazing. And look, oh, this guy's Romanian. I'm like literally going in unannounced, or like I gave him a little text or something, and I introduced myself, and I said, do you have 5 minutes? I just want to ask you a few questions, like just to know, because I'm a newcomer here, is there any future in this? Is it worth it? This is what I want to do. This is what I can do right now. This is what I would like to do. I'm really sorry, I don't remember the gentleman's name. A wonderful, I don't remember his name. I apologize. Another guy from Transylvania, though. Another, not a mythique like this guy. Okay, so...
inside joke.
Sorry. So this guy gave me such good advice that I ended up making money instead of spending money, meaning that I ended up applying to work at a music store. That's how we met. So between him and my then wife, who said, why don't you just try? Like, okay, so you don't really want to do this because you don't know what the outcome is going to be, but you love music. Why, instead of stacking stuff on shelves of Provigo, Maxi, whatever, why don't you just go and, try to get a job at a music store? I'm like, I fixed a few guitars back home. I know how to play. I know this. He's like, yeah, but you speak English, you speak French, you're not horrible. You like people. Why not? Let's see what gives. So then, and this is a recommendation I give to everybody. If ever you're looking for a job, you're not looking for a job. Now, hear me out. You never say that I need a job or that I want a job, because nobody's interested in your bullshit, right? Nobody wants to, oh my God, let's help this guy. You have a offer, or like in French would be offre de service. So when I showed up at the now defunct Ital Melody, I went to the front desk and I brazenly asked to see the boss of the store, like I'm king shit or something. And I'm like, j'ai une offre de service. So basically I have an offer for the big boss. And I had a whole, like any good immigrant, a whole like bag filled with all my credentials. It had nothing to do with one of them had something to do with music.
Curriculum vitae.
Everything translated, duplicated, notarized, the whole shebang. And I'm, as well dressed as I could be. And I'm like, hello, my name is Alex, and I would like to see the general manager of the store. Should he have a few minutes? I have a very interesting offer. He's not going to want to miss out on that. And obviously I was the offer. So because of certain factors that I'm not going to go into, I then got sent to the assistant general manager, who happened to be the big owner's son, Tony, who I think he kind of didn't want to deal with that because the big boss was not there. And he sent me to the service department, where I was supposed to see Mimo. Mimo, much love, brother. But Mimo was not there. So they said, go there. There's a gentleman at the back. You go through rentals, blah, 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 and you speak to him. They'll tell you if they need someone. Because Tony asked me a few more questions. And I said, well, actually, it's a service offer, because I'm, best guitar tech ever, which I definitely wasn't or am. So, but, fake it till you make it. So I went there, and I'm thinking this wonderful gentleman is the manager. I mean, if you think he looks gorgeous now, back in the day, oh my God. So he's fixing a guitar.
Any ideas is nothing.
Purely platonic.
Stuff like this.
We won't even hold hands for this podcast. Next episode, we'll hold a pinky. Okay. So
we love each other just the same.
Exactly.
But not that way.
So much love. So much love.
No Vaseline.
No Vaseline. So I went to see you. You were like working on a guitar or something. We've never met. And unfortunately, you told me this in French, so I have to say it in French. And I say unfortunately for the people that are, English speaking only, because I was used to the Quebec accent. I was watching like the little news that we had in Romania with the Quebec accent. Like there was like on France, whatever channel, like a French channel. I had watched like there was a early like Roy Dupuis show, Les Filles de Je sais pas trop qui. It's like an old Quebec, like, you know, classic piece from back in the day when the Quebec were just starting like in a village somewhere. So I was used to the accent, but I was not used to the slang. So I'm trying to be very polite. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? You know, hi, how are you? Yeah. And this gentleman right here, and I use the word gentleman loosely, but in a good way. So he turns around and I try to explain, like first of all, unfortunately in English, there's no, how do you call that? Second person plural. It's not used as a politis, as a polite pronoun. I don't know how to explain it.
Well,
so
in English, it's different. It's you.
Whereas in like Spanish would be like usted, Italian lei, and like French vous. So it's like a second person plural. So you don't call someone just you. It's like addressing someone like Mr. It's a form of respect. So I was like very respectful, and I was like, "How are you doing, sir?" Basically, I guess that would be the proper translation. Yeah. I was sent to see you as the, you know, I was asked to see you, the manager of the na, because I'm assuming he's the manager. And his answer to that was, he starts laughing, and he goes like, "Eh, si, doit fumer du bon stock." I'm like, what? So literally all he's trying to, like, I ask again, and I'm like, what do you say? Flabbergasted, befuddled, confused. Like, I'm like, what? But I can't show it. I'm like, sir, the general manager. And he goes again, yeah. Il fume du bon stock en bas. I'm like, what? And then he does this. And I finally get that what he meant was that they must be smoking some good shit downstairs because he ain't no manager. But like, imagine this like guy that already I'm working up the nerve to go like, oh my God, I'm gonna, you know, offer my services, but I need to be cool and confident and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I made it. It's like, sí, papi, ya llegamos. We made it, man, we made it. I passed the first guy. I passed the assistant manager. I'm like, this is almost like a done deal. And then I see this wonderful human being who starts fucking with me. And I'm like, what? What? This is going so badly. But being the lovely person that he is, again, he was just messing with me. And then he sat me down, he asked me a few questions and this and that. And he helped me out tremendously because obviously my level of knowledge was here, whereas now I'm probably here and I should be here. So he showed me a lot of tips and tricks.
You did excellent.
Thank you. Very kind of you. So, but he you know, grilled me just a bit, you know, just so I could feel him, you know. So long story short, that's how we ended up working together, Mr. Manager.
Yep.
Okay. Did anybody else mistake you for a manager? No?
No, not
Is this
really.
why we're so good friends?
I've been working there for a while, so you know, I was like used, and plus the music store in my books and some people's books was like the cemetery for musicians. That's
where you go to die.
Exactly.
Well,
so lots of people they've been from my generation, and we've been knowing each other as musicians, different bands. Mimo was in the band.
But that's true. Sergio as well. Band, Dave. Everybody
was in bands, and some of them, the younger generation, your generation, like
some were still active,
and they were in a bands right there.
Yeah.
You know. So Biagio too, the band Plight and stuff like that.
You can call him by the name that he likes. Remember when we used to call him Biag?
Yeah.
And he said, no, that sounds too much like something else. Biagio Prioletta, an Italian name if you've ever heard one.
Yeah,
okay?
well, it was Italian melody, so everybody was Italian.
Very culturally diverse, but 90% Italian.
Me too, I was half Italian.
You're half Italian. Man, yeah, bro, forget about it. Yeah. No, it's and that's actually, that was cool because that's how I endeared myself to Mimo in rentals. Of all people in the world, you do not want to seek Mimo's wrath. What is the first fucking, thing that I say to Mimo? Because she's like, hey, hi, how are you? Na. I was like, okay, what are you? And because I'm a dum-dum, instead of saying I'm a Romanian, given anybody that knows about the Roman Empire and how we got conquered, and they conquered basically the entirety of Europe other than the village of Asterix and Obelix. So yeah, I literally just said, hi, nice to meet you. What am I? I'm an improved Italian. Yeah, that went over really well. I made a lot of friends those first few days and first few weeks. Yeah, to a point that for anybody that doesn't know this, I'm speaking right now, even with my mouth shut. Okay, so I got told off to like don't speak to me, and I couldn't even do this because that's speaking to someone, right? So that was a way to endear myself because I'm an improved Italian, right? Yeah. So then he got maybe possibly some heat on account of us both being Romanian. It's like, but it was all in good jest. Yes. Like we were just messing with each other. It was probably the best place that I worked at because of the people, and I stress this, not because of the bosses, because of the people that work there. Like it was an amazing place to work at. Yes. Like Sergio, Mimo, I mean, even involuntarily Alan. Mimo, don't kill me for this. But yeah, I mean, involuntarily, that's what I said. There's a lot of humor there, right? Dave, another character, you know. Yeah. And the people, all the people in PA, man. Like, I don't even know if you, like Bobby Flag. Oh, he came afterwards.
No,
Robert Drapeau.
Yeah, because at some point I was out.
Mathieu, who's like now at Moog Audio and whatnot. Like, it's so Ray. Oh my God, Ray.
It was in every institution, being a music store or a band or a bank, there is a period where everything. There are different periods in the company, and we got. I think that we got the kind of in a way peak period, and after that there was only one way to go.
So we were responsible for taking the experience downhill.
No,
we got
really.
in at the peak.
No, not really. The only people who took the experience downhill were the owners. Yeah. They did it themselves.
Well, they did choose to expand during the recession.
You know, we're not going there because we're not here to criticize or to give them advice. It was what it was, and for us, I think for both of us, I speak for both of us, was a good thing to be there and to work there that period.
Yeah, and you didn't grill me too long. Like it's just the first month or what. Like by the way we used to work is it's a small room where the workshop was, but then there was like the service counter and the other part like fixing, like because we just did like stringed instrument repair, but there was also the other side that did the electronics, the amps, the keyboards, all of that, and then Mimo's desk to greet clients and open work orders, and then guitars would get stacked in a line, and they would have work order numbers, right? And my understanding was that we were to do them, in order, which is literally the way you should do them. But the first few weeks, and that's probably not only because I wasn't experienced enough, but you wanted to mess with me just a little bit. Every time I would pick up like a nice guitar. I mean, this is a kid in Romania that only saw Gibson, like a Gibson Les Paul in the hands of his bandmate because his dad was able to buy it secondhand from like. A Gibson Les Paul is a rare sight in Romania. And you see some Strats.
In Romania,
yeah, like most people, even an Epiphone would be like, oh my God, you have an Epiphone, right? Like, so anyways, we'll get back to that maybe. But the bottom line is you'd pick up like a Les Paul, a nice Strat, like an EJ Signature, the good stuff. And I would pick it up because it's literally the next one in line. It's the next number. I open the case. This gentleman lets me put it on the workbench because I used to work here. We actually sit the same way that we sit here. You to the left, me to the right. With the vacuum in the middle and the glue and whatnot.
Exactly. There's no vacuum here.
There's no vacuum here. There's no vacuum here, though. So I would put it on the little like neck cradle for the guitar, put it there, and I would just hear him like, and he's working. He's not even looking up, this guy. He goes like, and what is it that you think you're doing? I'm like, what the fuck, man? Just my job. I'm fixing a guitar. Not that one. That's a $2,000 instrument. Put it back in the case. And you give me like the most like crappiest pieces of the $100 classical guitars. Anybody that restrung a classical guitar, they know that even a high end one would be a pain. But to work on one that's like cruddy and like a POS to begin with. I learned a lot. Thank you. But he only did that for like a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. And like, and he showed me a lot.
Till it got into the groove.
But it was like, I just remember that. And what is it that you think you're doing? Put it back in the case. And I can't say shit. I'm like, yes, sir. Put it back in the case. I was like, I might have muttered some words, under my breath. But like literally, you were telling me which one to pick because I would go. But the next one, is this okay? What is that? It's this and that, like maybe a 700. That's too good. Next, be like, okay. This, what is this? It's a little Yamaha. What is it? Classical. Okay, that's good. Take it. Like, what? You don't even care about what needs to be done. Maybe I don't know how to do it. It's like, I don't give a shit. Just that's the one you're going to work on.
I'll show you.
Yes, sir. So yeah. Anyways.
Yep. Yeah. So that was good reminiscence for both of us. I don't know how interesting it was for the rest of you.
It was great.
But was part of you growing up. And because I remember, like, you used to play a lot, and one of your favorite players was Derek Trucks.
Still is.
So what happened? Because I watched you, like, you weren't. And now I know why, because we didn't talk too much about this. Like, why are not in a band? I was in and out bands and doing this besides the stuff I was doing.
I chose to live my life vicariously through you. No, I had my own recollections of the hustle and the grit involved, and I was able to get stuff done. But then I also saw what you were going through, and it didn't seem that enticing, like as an experience. And if ever I would have played with anybody, like in a band, probably would have been with you, because despite the age difference, it's almost like we went to high school together. Like, you have different memories. You might have, but like the way we connected the first time we spoke, it's like a kindred. Here's a brother. Here's a kindred spirit. It's like, it's insane that you left Romania like 23 years before me, but it's like same. Like, I come here, 82, 2005, but it's like literally like speaking to my brother, and I would have been amazing, but I saw what you're going through, managing everything, all the bullshit you have to put up, like even with good bar owners or, the singers that like are, even though they only carry their mic, they need to be given a ride and they don't show up on time. And it's like all the incessant phone calls, managing the job and this and the family, right? It seemed like so much. And I was like, do I really want to do that? Like, I do that with you, but even with you, I was like, I don't think I'm ready to commit the time that it takes to do it properly. That was something that I had from back home, and I even have like a reminder on my body that I made to myself the one time that I didn't feel that I was ready enough, and I felt like, as an artist, you feel like this is shit and the show was terrible. And I said, I will never put myself in that situation, nor will I ever put anybody else around me. So if I do something, it's 1000%.
So then you said, sort it.
I'll be a weekend warrior, basically.
But yeah, it's exactly because you kept on playing to this day, and
I
kept
still
on busting my chops.
I have the calluses
coming down, coming down, and borrowing effects and the guitars and all this.
Did I return? I didn't return everything, right?
Playing amazingly too. But not doing anything like not doing anything like
to put stuff out there.
Put stuff out.
I did record stuff.
But I know that you recorded some stuff because you bought some recording equipment. And when I was at your place later on, I saw that I bought this and I'm recording this and I have this mic and I have this and what do you think about that and stuff like this. But so. The mentality you have as a musician, as an artist, we all have to be creative.
Of course.
We have to be creative, repairing instruments. Lucian has to be creative, doing filming, producing. And
adapting to different environments
everything.
And people.
It's part of being creative, being alive, being creative. And we have to have enthusiasm to do what we're doing. So what was the incentive for you? What pushed you, and how you stay a musician? Are you still a musician? Do you consider yourself a musician? I know that you're playing amazing stuff. You're doing, you show me tunings and you show me stuff. You're very sensible and sensitive. And the dynamics are amazing. What you're using.
Thank you.
And, not criticizing me, but saying, "Hey, why do you use a pick? Why don't you use more fingers and stuff like this?" Which is interesting, you know.
Yeah.
So
I have a big mouth, and
no, it doesn't matter.
I like to say
that's not the
honestly,
point.
not
The point is how are you staying on that path? Is that a passion of your life or not? Is that how do you do? Because when we jamming, because sometimes I'm trying stuff out and you coming to give me your opinion and then you show me some stuff and I'm going always, well, it's always amazing stuff, but what are you doing with this? Is this just a hobby? Is just something which is you're a closet musician? Or you have hopes that, okay, one day, and that day will never come, I will get out of my closet and I'll proudly go like Superman.
And flash everybody.
Exactly.
No, that is a great question that I completely ruined. But I, very simply put, ever since my dad put a guitar in my hands, or I found a tiny guitar inside our home, I can't look away. It's not even about looking back. I can't, like, it's almost like I don't have a choice. So whatever output, whatever I put out into the world, I will always be an artist, at least in my mind. Like,
okay. But that's all it counts.
So that's not negotiable. I sometimes I wish that it were, to be honest with you. Sometimes I wish I could just turn off, even though that's probably one of the more interesting parts of myself. Because like we're all combination of multiple things. Like, yeah, we're musicians. We're also Romanian. We also live in Canada. You could be Muslim. You could be Catholic. You could be whatever. But we're not just that. Each of us is a combination of many, many, many things. So you can apply all kinds of labels to each one of us. But what I appreciate the uniqueness of every individual, right? I have never met another Romanian musician, regardless of age, that is quite like you. You know, because you're you,
not, yeah,
right? And I appreciate you for what you are.
Each musician is
and this is like a general comment on life. My wife, my wonderful wife, now happens to be Congolese. It's not like I went out into the world and I said I want to be married to a wonderful Congolese woman. No, she is a wonderful woman because she is, you know,
she's
her.
A wonderful
Madi
woman.
is Madi. It doesn't matter. Exactly.
Which came after,
so it's just one thing of the multiple things that make her who she is, the same as us. So I cannot negotiate that. It's just there. The problem is that I think I'm a bit of an extremist when it comes to myself and my music, or a perfectionist. And that's, while that's a very good starting point, it's a very detrimental, like they say, you have to have a plan and an objective. Do not move away from your objective or your target, but be malleable or be flexible in how you get there. You know, it took me a long time to understand that. So I wanted things to be a certain way, to the point that, like you said, I recorded so many things. I have almost nothing to show for. Like, there's some songs that I wrote that now I'm kicking myself in the balls because I didn't keep, just because I was unsatisfied with that little thing there, that background noise or this, which is a stupid way to be, I guess. But I don't know why it's taking me a long time to even try to think about compromising. Now, what do I mean by compromising? Maybe I'm not as good as the idea in my head, so my fingers need to catch up to the music that I hear. Maybe it's the environment. Maybe it's just easy excuses. Whatever it is, you have to dedicate, as you know very well, so much time and energy just to get things right. But you also have to be right. It's not just the equipment, because you can make music, like I can pull out my iPhone and record something, and actually did. And weirdly enough, I have some recordings on my iPhone.
Do that, not with the iPhone, but with the guitar.
I've come to a point where I'm like, I accept certain things, but it's still like a battle, and I don't know why. I just guess I'm weird like that, and I'm working on it, like all of us, constantly. I came here in the idea that, like, to Canada, that I will pursue a career in recording and producing, and that got sidetracked. I had amazing experience. I would not have it like. It's almost like, maybe it's a bad comparison, but it's almost like two of my wonderful 6 daughters that I had from my first marriage. Like, people would think divorce equal failure, but I would not have had things in any different way, despite of my personal shortcomings, because of those two wonderful creatures. It's kind of the same way with where life brings you. Like, yeah, maybe I didn't record certain things that I planned to, but I met you, I met Mimo. We shared laughter and cries and like the knowledge that you guys gave me.
No,
and
I have to bring Mimo.
Oh, you
people to know.
Mimo, like episode 2 through 10 should be Mimo. Like, so it's just life has a way of showing you that things are not set in stone. Like the Stones, talking about Stones, would say you can't always get what you want, right? Sometimes you get what you need, or some other people say it, God laughs while we're making plans. But it's all valuable experience. And I have come at almost 44 years old now to a point, well, finally, if I still have an amazing sound card. I have a great computer. I find time, even with 6 kids, to sit down and record. But I kind of have
and
to...
a dog.
And a dog, yeah. I have to kind of get out of my own way, get out of my head. Mm-hmm. Because to this day, at almost 44, I still feel like even the vibe might be amazing, but the sound is not good enough. Or the sound is amazing, but there's always something that I'm very negative about. And even if it's in a constructive way, that kills you. As soon as you start thinking instead of just being, and it's so freaking hard. Like the little that I do know, just forget it and just do. And you look at amazing musicians, like you mentioned Derek Trucks, my holy trinities, Trucks, Robin Ford, and God rest his soul, amazing human being and guitar player Jeff Beck. These guys manage to just be. And when you look at the level of proficiency and like what comes out, like they get out of their own head. Obviously they practice, they're naturally gifted and they practice for years and years and years and years. But to be at that level, to be able to remove yourself so much, like your thoughts out of, the noise, basically, turn down the noise and just be.
Be in a moment. That's all it is.
And be brilliant, not just be in the moment, because we're in the moment now, you and me.
Yeah.
Maybe we're brilliant, maybe we're not.
No, but we prepare for it.
We're prepared to be brilliant.